Hello everyone. Tonight we begin with the scent of dust and sweat clinging to your skin. The kind that doesn't wash off no matter how many times you dip your hands into the cracked riverbed. You're crouched low, your bare feet sinking into the warm, gritty earth. The Kalahari sun searing the back of your neck. Somewhere in the distance, a jackal screams, sharp and sudden, like a coworker's email ping at 3 a.m. You're not sure if it's a warning or just the desert gossiping again. Your fingers clutch a sharpened stick, its tip blackened by fire, and your heart thumps loud enough to betray you to whatever's rustling in the thorn bush. Are you hunter or hunted tonight? That's the question the San ask themselves every dawn, and now it's yours too. You're one of them, born into the San tribe, the memory keepers of mankind, older than the pyramids, older than the stories your ancestors whispered before they learned to carve them into stone. The San have no word for history because they carry it in their bones, in the songs they hum under starlight, in the way they read the tracks of an antelope like you'd scroll through a news feed. You're not just living, you're remembering. Every step you take is a story, every breath a verse. But tonight, something feels wrong. The air is too still, like the desert is holding its breath, waiting for you to make a choice you don't yet understand. You're not alone. Your sister, Xeo, is beside you, her eyes sharp as obsidian, scanning the horizon. She's younger than you, barely 16, but already better at reading the land. The wind's gone quiet, she mutters, her voice low, like she's afraid the sky might overhear. You nod, but your throat's dry, not just from thirst. The San don't fear silence the way city folks fear a dead phone battery, but this quiet feels heavy, like it's carrying a secret. You glance at the stick in your hand, its weight suddenly childish against the vastness of the Kalahari. If something's out there, it's not impressed by your little spear. You're supposed to be tracking a springbok, a small one you saw limping at dawn, easy prey for 2 hungry kids. Your clan hasn't eaten meat in days, and the children are starting to look hollow, their laughter thinner than the robin. You're not just a hunter. You're a memory keeper, a storyteller, a survivor. But right now, you're just a kid with a stick, and the desert doesn't care about your titles. The springbok's tracks led you here, to this dry riverbed where the earth splits like an old wound. But the tracks are gone now, swallowed by the wind or something else. Xeo kneels, brushing her fingers over the ground, her brow furrowed. It was here, she says. Then it wasn't. She doesn't look at you, but you hear the question in her voice. What took it? You don't answer. You're too busy listening to the silence. It's not just the wind that's gone. The birds, the insects, even the faint hum of the earth itself. It's all stopped. You feel it in your gut, a tightening, like the moment before a deadline hits, and you realize you've miscalculated everything. You want to tell Xeo to run, to grab her hand and sprint back to the clan, but you don't. The San don't run from shadows. They face them. They name them. They sing them into stories. So you stand, your stick trembling slightly, and you take a step forward. That's when you see her. Not the springbok, but a woman, standing where the riverbed curves into shadow. She's old, older than anyone in your clan. Her skin like dried leather. Her hair a tangle of gray and dust. She's not San, not quite. Her eyes are too pale, like the bellies of fish, and her clothes, if you can call them that, are scraps of hide and bone, stitched together with sinew. She's holding something, a small carved figure, no bigger than your thumb, shaped like a man with an antelope's head. A totem, the kind your elders whisper about when the fire burns low, the kind that holds a spirit, a memory, a curse. She doesn't move, doesn't speak, just watches you. her lips curled into a smile that's more teeth than warmth. You've heard of her. The old one, the wanderer, the woman who remembers. The clan doesn't talk about her openly, not like they talk about the stars or the rains. She's a story for the dark, for the nights when the children are asleep and the adults think you're not listening. They say she was here before the sand, before the desert, before the first story was told. They say she knows things, where the herds go, why the rains fail, what happens when you die. They say she trades knowledge for promises, but her prices are steep. A memory, a name, a child. You don't believe the stories, not really. You're too old for fairy tales, too young to be reckless. But here she is, real as the sweat on your back, and she's looking at you like she knows your name. Xeo grabs your arm, her nails digging into your skin. Don't, she whispers, her voice shaking. She's seen her too. We need to go. But you don't move. You can't. The old one's eyes hold you, not with fear, but with something worse, curiosity. She raises the totem, turning it in her fingers, and you swear you hear a sound, a low hum, like the earth itself is singing. The air grows thicker, tasting of ash and salt, and your stick feels like a toy, useless against whatever this is. You should run. You should drag Xeo back to the clan, tell the elders, let them deal with it. But the sand don't run. And you're not just sand. You're you. And you've got a question burning in your chest, one you've never dared ask aloud. What if you're not meant to stay here? What if the stories, the memories, the endless cycle of hunt and hunger and song, what if it's not enough? You've seen the way the land is changing, the rains coming later, the herds growing thinner. You've heard the elders argue, their voices sharp as flint, about whether to move north, to follow the stories of greener lands, or to stay, to cling to the bones of the past. You felt it too, the pull of something else, something beyond the Kalahari, beyond the stories. And now, this woman, this thing, is standing there, holding a totem that hums with power, looking at you like she knows exactly what you're thinking. You take a step forward. Xeo hisses your name, but you shake her off. The old one's smile widens, and she beckons, a single crooked finger. Ask, she says, her voice like dry leaves skittering across stone. But know this, every answer has a shadow. You open your mouth, the question forming, but the words catch in your throat. What if you ask, and the answer breaks you? What if you don't, and spend the rest of your life wondering? The desert watches, silent, waiting for your choice. You're standing there, the Kalahari stretching endless around you, the old one's eyes boring into yours, and you realize this isn't just about a springbok or a hunt or even a story. This is about you, who you are, who you'll become, what you're willing to trade for a truth you might not survive. The totem in her hand pulses, and you feel it, a tug in your chest, like a memory you didn't know you'd lost. Xeo's hand is on your arm again, but it's distant, like she's calling from another world. The old one waits, patient as stone, and you know deep in your bones that whatever you say next will change everything. Hey, you're still with me, right? You're watching from where? What time is it there? Drop a comment. I'm dying to know who's curled up in their blanket, listening to this with me tonight. The Kalahari night wraps around you like a second skin, thick with the scent of dry grass and something sharper, something alive. Your breath catches not from the cold, though it's creeping in, prickling your bare arms, but from the weight of the old one's gaze, those fish-belly eyes glinting under the moon. Her totem, that antelope-headed figure, seems to pulse in her gnarled hand, and you swear it's watching you too. Xeo's fingers are still on your arm, tight as a trap, but you don't look at her. You can't. The question you almost asked hangs in the air, heavy as a storm cloud, and the desert feels like it's leaning in to listen. You take another step toward the old one, your feet sinking into the cracked earth, each grain sharp against your soles. The stick in your hand, your pitiful spear, feels like a joke now, something a child would wave at shadows. You don't drop it, though. Not yet. The Scent don't let go of what they've made, not until it's broken or taken. What are you ask, your voice rough, like you've been shouting into the wind. It's not the question you meant to ask, not the one about leaving or staying, but it's the one that spills out, raw and reckless. Her smile splits wider, showing teeth stained dark, like she's been chewing on the earth itself. What? She echoes, her voice a hiss that slithers into your ears. Not who, not why, but what? Clever child. She steps closer, and the air turns sour, tasting of ash and old blood. You want to back away, to grab Xeo and run until your lungs burn, but your feet are rooted, like the desert's claimed you as one of its own. She holds up the totem, and the humming grows louder, a vibration you feel in your teeth. I am a memory, she says. Older than your songs, deeper than your stories. I am what your kind forgets when the fires die. Xeo makes a sound, a small, choke thing, and you feel her pull at you. But it's distant, like she's calling from the other side of a dream. The old one's eyes don't leave yours, and you realize she's not just talking. She's testing you. Every word is a hook, baiting you to ask more, to step deeper into whatever this is. You've heard the elders' warnings, whispered when they think you're asleep. Never bargain with the shadows. Never trade with those who know too much. But you're not a child anymore, not quite. And the hunger in your belly isn't just for meat. It's for answers, for something to fill the hollow space that's been growing inside you. The one that whispers of greener lands, of a world beyond the Kalahari's endless thirst. You swallow, your throat dry as bone. What do you want? You ask, and the words feel like a betrayal, like you're handing her a piece of yourself. Xeo hisses your name, sharper now, but you shake her off. The old one laughs, a sound like stones grinding together, and the totem in her hand seems to shift, its antelope eyes catching the moonlight. Want, she says. I want what all memories want, to be kept, to be carried, to be sung. But you, child, you want more. You want to know if your feet can carry you beyond the sand, if your stories can live where the rains never stop. Your heart stumbles. She knows. Somehow, she's seen the thoughts you've buried, the ones you've never spoken, not even to Xeo. The dreams of rivers that don't dry, of herds that don't vanish, of a place where the sand could be more than memory keepers, more than survivors. You've seen the way the land is changing, the grasses thinning, the water holes turning to dust. You've heard the arguments at the fire, the elders' voices splitting like old wood. Stay and honor the ancestors, or leave and risk losing everything. And you've wondered, selfish, shameful, if there's a place for you out there, a place where you don't have to carry the weight of 1,000 years. The old one steps closer, close enough that you smell her now, a mix of earth and decay, like a grave left open. I can show you, she says, her voice soft now, almost tender. I can show you the paths, the truths, the shadows of what's to come. But every memory has a price. She holds out the totem, and you see it clearly now. The antelope's head is carved with tiny, intricate lines, like the tracks of every beast you've ever hunted, spiraling into a single point. It's beautiful, terrifying, and you want to touch it, to feel its weight, to know what it knows. Xeo grabs you again, harder this time, her nails drawing blood. Don't, she says, her voice breaking. She's not one of us. She'll take you. You turn to her, and her eyes are wide, wet with fear, not just for you, but for herself. Xeo's always been the brave one, the one who laughs at hyenas, who climbs thorns to steal honey. But now she looks small, fragile, like the children back at camp, waiting for meat that might never come. You want to tell her it's okay, that you're just asking, just listening, but the words stick in your throat. Because you're not sure. You're not sure you can stop. The old one doesn't look at Xeo, doesn't acknowledge her, but her smile shifts, sharper now, like she's tasted your hesitation. A memory for a memory, she says. Give me one, and I'll give you one. Something small, something you won't miss. A song, a name, a dream. She leans closer, and the totem's hum fills your skull, drowning out Xeo's voice, the desert silence, even your own heartbeat. Or something bigger, she whispers. Give me your doubt, your fear, your wish to leave. Give me that, and I'll show you everything. You feel it then, a tug in your chest, like a thread being pulled loose. It's not just a thought, not just a question, it's a piece of you, the part that's been whispering of greener lands, of a life beyond the sand. The part that wonders if you're betraying your people just by dreaming. You've never told anyone, not Xeo, not the elders, but the old one knows. And she's offering you a way out. Not just a path, but a truth, a certainty. Something to hold onto when the desert tries to swallow you whole. All it'll cost is what? A memory? A piece of your soul? You don't even know what she's asking, not really, but the weight of it presses down. Heavy as the Kalahari itself. You look at Xeo, her face pale in the moonlight, her lips moving, pleading, but you can't hear her over the totem's hum. You look at the old one, her eyes gleaming, her hand outstretched, the totem waiting. And you look at the desert, stretching endless around you, its silence no longer a comfort, but a cage. You've always been a memory keeper, a storyteller, a San. But what if that's not enough? What if you're meant for something else, something more? The choice is yours, and it's not just about tonight, not just about this moment. It's about who you are, who you'll become, what you're willing to lose. Your hand twitches, reaching toward the totem, and the world seems to hold its breath. The old one's smile is a blade now, sharp and sure, and you know deep in your bones, that touching that totem will change you. Not just your path, but you, your memories, your dreams, your place among the sand. Xeo's crying now, soft and desperate, and you want to tell her you're sorry, that you'll come back, that you're still her brother. But the totem's hum is louder, stronger, and your fingers are so close to knowing. And then you hear it, a scream, not human, not animal, but something else, something that tears through the night like a knife. The old one's head snaps up, her eyes narrowing, and the totem's hum stops, sudden and final. The desert comes alive again, the wind hissing, the insects buzzing, the jackals yipping in the distance. The old one steps back, her smile gone, her face unreadable. Not tonight, she says, and her voice is flat, like she's speaking to the air. She turns, her shadow stretching long and thin, and before you can speak, she's gone, swallowed by the dark. You stand there, your hand still outstretched, your heart pounding so hard it hurts. Xeo's sobbing now, clinging to you, and you realize you're trembling, not from cold, but from something deeper, something you can't name. The totem's gone, the old one's gone, but the question remains, burning in your chest. What if you touched it? What if you'd given her what she wanted? What if you still want to know? The Kalahari watches, silent and vast, and you know this isn't over. Not for you, not for Xeo, not for the sand. You take Seo's hand, and you start walking back toward the clan, back toward the fire, back toward the stories. But the desert feels different now, heavier, like it's keeping a secret of its own. The fire at the clan's camp spits and crackles, throwing shadows that dance across the faces of the elders like ghosts trying to speak. You sit cross-legged on the hard earth, the warmth of the flames licking at your knees, but it does little to chase away the chill that's settled in your chest. Seo is beside you, her shoulder brushing yours, her silence louder than the fire's hiss. She hasn't spoken since you stumbled back from the riverbed, her hand clutching yours so tight it left marks. The night air smells of smoke and dried herbs, and the faint, sour tang of hunger clings to everyone, a reminder of the springbok you didn't bring home. The clan is gathered, their eyes reflecting the firelight, waiting for the elders to speak. But you can't shake the feeling that the desert itself is listening, its vast darkness pressing against the edges of the camp. You're supposed to be here to listen, to learn, to carry the stories forward. That's what it means to be San, to be a memory keeper. But your mind is elsewhere, snagged on the old one's pale eyes, on the totem's hum that still echoes in your skull, like a song you can't unhear. Your fingers twitch, remembering how close they came to touching it, to trading something, anything, for a truth you're not sure you're ready to face. Seo shifts, her knee knocking against yours, and you glance at her. Her face is tight, her lips pressed thin, and you know she's thinking of it too. You want to ask her what she saw, what she felt, but the words feel too heavy, like stones you can't lift. The eldest, Kate, rises, his shadow stretching long and thin, like a thorn tree stripped of leaves. He's old, older than the hills, his skin creased like the earth after a drought. His voice, when he speaks, is low and rough, carrying the weight of 1,000 nights like this one. The stars are restless, he says, pointing a gnarled finger at the sky. You follow his gaze, and the constellations seem sharper tonight, like they've been polished by the wind. They speak of a choice, a breaking, a path that cannot be untrod. The clan murmurs, soft and uneasy, and you feel Xeo tense beside you. You want to believe it's just an elder's talk, the kind of cryptic warning they toss out when the hunts fail, but your gut twists. He's talking about you. Or her. Or both. And Kate's eyes find yours, and for a moment you're sure he knows about the old one, about the totem, about the question you almost asked. But he doesn't call you out, doesn't name you. Instead, he turns to the fire and pulls something from the folds of his hide cloak. It's a stone smooth and black, carved with lines that spiral inward, like the tracks of a beast circling its prey. A spirit stone, the kind the San used to speak to the ancestors, to ask for guidance, to bind the living to the dead. You've seen it before during the trance dances, when the men sway and sing until their eyes roll back, and they claim to see the other world. But tonight, it feels different, heavier, like it's carrying a secret it doesn't want to share. The land is changing, Kate says, holding the stone to the firelight. The rains come late, the herds grow thin, the stories falter. We must ask the ancestors what they see, what they know. The clan nods, their voices rising in a soft hum, the kind that makes your skin prickle, like you're part of something bigger than yourself. But you don't hum. You can't. The old one's words are still in your head, a memory for a memory. What if the ancestors ask for the same? What if they want the piece of you that dreams of leaving? The piece that wonders if the sand stories are enough. Xeo leans closer, her breath warm against your ear. Don't tell them, she whispers, so soft you barely hear it over the fire's crackle. Not about her. Not about it. You nod just a slight dip of your chin, but your stomach churns. You've never kept secrets from the clan, not like this. The sand don't hide things. They share, they sing. They weave every moment into the story of the people. But this feels too big, too dangerous, like a hyena hiding in the grass. You glance at Kate, at the stone in his hand, and you wonder if he'd understand, if he'd listen, or if he'd cast you out for even speaking of the old one. A woman steps forward. Her name is Kagan, named after the trickster god, the one who shapes the world and breaks it just for fun. She's not an elder, not yet, but her presence commands the camp, her eyes sharp and bright, like a hawk's. You've always liked her, the way she laughs too loud, the way she tells stories that make the children giggle and the adults shift uncomfortably. But tonight, there's no laughter in her. She takes the stone from Kate, her fingers brushing his, and you notice the way her hand lingers, the way his eyes soften. There's a story there, one the clan doesn't tell, but you've seen it in the way they move, like two stars orbiting each other. We dance tonight, Kagan says, her voice clear, cutting through the murmurs. We dance to ask, to listen, to remember. She holds up the stone, and the firelight catches it, making the carved lines glow like they're alive. The clan stirs, the men rising, the women beginning to clap, a slow, steady rhythm that pulls at your blood, urging you to move. You've danced before, felt the trance take you, felt the world blur until the stars sang and the ancestors whispered. But tonight, the thought of it scares you. What if the ancestors see the old one in your heart? What if they know you almost traded a memory, almost betrayed the sand for a truth you don't even understand? Xeo grabs your hand, her fingers cold despite the fire. You don't have to dance, she says, her voice low, urgent. You can stay with me, with the women. But you shake your head. You're not a child, not a woman, not yet an elder. You're something else, something in between. And the dance is where you belong, where you prove your sand, where you carry the stories forward. Even if you're not sure you want to anymore. The men are gathering now, their bodies painted with ash and ochre, their feet stomping in time with the women's claps. The air grows thick, heavy with the scent of sweat and dust, and the fire seems to pulse, like it's breathing with the clan. Kagan begins to sing, her voice high and sharp, a call to the ancestors, to the spirits, to the land itself. The stone in her hand seems to glow brighter, and you feel it a pull in your chest, like the totems hum, but deeper, older, like the earth itself is reaching for you. You stand, your legs shaky, and join the men. The rhythm takes you, your feet finding the beat, your body swaying, the world narrowing to the fire, the song, the stone. You see Kagan moving through the dancers, her eyes locked on yours, and you realize she's not just singing, she's watching you, like she knows something, like she's seen the old one in your shadow. The dance grows faster, the claps louder, the song wilder, and you feel it, the trance creeping in, the world blurring at the edges. Your body moves without you, your feet pounding the earth, your arms reaching for the sky, and the stone in Kagan's hand seems to burn, its line spiraling, pulling you in. And then you see it, not with your eyes, but with something deeper, something that lives in your bones. A vision, a memory, a story. The land, green and alive, rivers flowing, herds thundering across the plains. The sand, your people, laughing, singing, their stories bright and new. But then the sky darkens, the rivers dry, the herds vanish, and the sand shrink, their voices fading, their stories thinning. You see yourself, standing at the edge of the desert, the clan behind you, the unknown ahead. You see the old one, her totem glowing, her smile sharp. And you see a choice: stay with the sand, carry their memories, die with their stories, or leave, seek the green lands, risk losing everything. The vision breaks, and you're back in the dance, your body trembling, your breath ragged. Kagan is in front of you, the stone in her hand, her eyes boring into yours. "What did you see?" she asks, her voice soft but sharp, like a blade hidden in grass. You open your mouth, but the words won't come. The clan is watching, the fire is watching, the desert is watching, and you know deep in your gut that what you say next could save you or damn you. You glance at Xeo, her face pale in the firelight, her eyes pleading. You glance at Kate, his shadow looming, his silence heavy. And you glance at Kagan, her stone pulsing, her question hanging. The dance continues, the song rises, and you stand there, caught between the ancestors and the old one, between the sand and the unknown, between the boy you are and the man you might become. The desert waits, patient as death, and you know this moment, this choice, will carve itself into the story of the sand, whether you speak or stay silent. The fire's heat clings to your skin, but it's the weight of Kagan's question that burns hotter, her eyes pinning you like a beetle to the earth. "What did you see?" she asks again, the spirit stone in her hand catching the firelight, its carved spirals seeming to twist, alive, hungry. The clan's song hums around you, the men's feet still pounding the ground, the women's claps sharp as breaking bones, but it all feels distant, like you're standing at the edge of a dream. Your mouth is dry, your tongue heavy, and the vision from the trance dance, green lands, dying rivers, the old one's smile, sits in your chest like a stone you can't spit out. Xeo's gaze is on you, her face half-shadowed, her silence louder than the song. You know what she wants, for you to lie, to say nothing, to keep the old one buried. But the sand don't lie. Not to the ancestors. Not to the clan. You take a breath, the air thick with smoke and the faint, bitter scent of sweat-soaked hides. "I saw the land," you say, your voice low, cracking like dry wood. Kagan's eyes narrow, but she doesn't speak, doesn't move, just waits, the stone pulsing in her grip. The clan's song falters just for a moment, and you feel every gaze shift to you, heavy as the Kalahari sun. "It was green," you continue, the words spilling out reckless, rivers flowing, herds running. But then it changed. The water dried, the herds left, and we faded. You stop, your heart thudding, because you haven't said it all. You haven't said the old one was there, her totem glowing, her voice whispering of paths beyond the desert. You haven't said you saw yourself, standing at the edge, choosing. Kate steps forward, his shadow swallowing the firelight, his face unreadable. "Faded," he says, his voice like gravel underfoot. "The sand do not fade. We carry the stories, the memories, the bones of the earth. We endure." His words are a challenge, a warning, and you feel them sink into you, sharp as thorns. The clan murmurs, some nodding, others glancing at you with eyes that hold doubt, fear, maybe pity. You want to tell them you're not sure, that the vision felt real, that the land is changing, but the weight of Kate's gaze keeps you silent. You've already said too much. Kagan raises the stone, her movements slow, deliberate, like she's weighing your words against its spirals. "The ancestors speak in shadows," she says, her voice softer now, but no less sharp. "They show us truths, but not always ours to keep." She turns to the clan, her eyes sweeping over them, and you feel a strange relief, like a noose loosening. "We dance again tomorrow," she says. "We ask again. The stars are not done with us." The clan nods, the song rising once more, but you catch the way /Kagan's gaze lingers on you. Like she's marking you. Like she knows there's more you didn't say. Xeo grabs your arm as the men disperse, her fingers cold despite the fire's heat. You shouldn't have said anything, she hisses, pulling you away from the circle, toward the edge of the camp where the darkness waits. The air is cooler here, carrying the faint, musky scent of the desert's night creatures, and you hear a jackal's yip, sharp and mocking, like it's laughing at your choices. They'll watch you now, Xeo says, her voice low, urgent. /Kagan, Kate, they'll think you're different. She doesn't say cursed, but you hear it in her pause, feel it in the way her hand trembles. You pull away, your skin prickling, not from the cold, but from the truth in her words. I didn't lie, you say, sharper than you mean to. I saw it, Xeo. The land, the rivers, the herds, it's all going away. And I saw, you stop, the old one's face flashing in your mind, her smile like a blade. Xeo's eyes widen, and you know she's thinking of her too, of the riverbed, of the totem's hum. You can't tell them, she says, her voice breaking. They'll send you away, or worse. She doesn't say what worse is, but you've heard the stories. Hunters who spoke of forbidden things, who vanished into the desert, their names erased from the songs. You want to argue, to tell her you're not afraid, but the lie sticks in your throat. You're afraid of the elders, of the ancestors, of the old one, of yourself. The vision wasn't just a story, it was a question, one you've been carrying for longer than you want to admit. What if the sand can't stay here? What if the desert is done with you, with all of you? You've seen the signs, the waterholes shrinking, the grasses thinning, the children's ribs showing through their skin. You felt the pull of something else, something beyond the Kalahari. And the old one saw it too, saw it in you like a crack in the earth. Before you can speak, a shadow moves at the edge of the camp, silent as a snake. It's not one of the clan, not with that hunched gait, that faint clatter of bones. Your heart stumbles, and Xeo freezes, her breath catching. You squint into the dark, and there he is, a man or something like one. His body draped in hides, so old they're more dust than leather. His face is hidden, but you see his hands, gnarled and stained, clutching a staff topped with a skull, small and polished, maybe a hare's. You've heard of him too, though not in the clan songs. The Bone Man, they call him, a wanderer who trades in secrets, in relics, in things the sand don't speak of. Some say he's a healer, others a thief, stealing memories instead of curing wounds. Either way, he's not welcome here, not by the elders, not by the fire. He doesn't approach, just stand there, his staff glinting in the moonlight, the skull's empty eyes staring. Xeo grips your arm again, her nails digging in, but you don't move. You feel it, a pull, not like the totem's hum, but something quieter, colder, like a whisper from the earth itself. The Bone Man tilts his head, and you swear he's looking at you, through you, like he sees the vision, the old one, the crack in your heart. Then he turns slow as a dream, and melts into the dark, the clatter of his bones fading with him. Xeo lets out a shaky breath, her voice barely a whisper. He knows, she says. He saw us at the riverbed. He saw her. You shake your head, not because you don't believe her, but because you don't want to. The Bone Man doesn't belong to the sand, not really. He's a story from the edges, from the places where the desert meets something else, something older, stranger. But he was here, and he saw you, and now the night feels heavier, like it's carrying a debt you didn't agree to pay. You turn back to the camp, the fire still burning, the clan settling into their hides, their murmurs soft as the wind. /Kagan is by the fire, the spirit stone tucked away, but her eyes find yours across the flames, and you feel the same weight as before, the same question. What did you see? You want to tell her, to spill it all. The old one, the totem, the bone man, the vision. But Xeo's fear is a chain, holding you back. The Sen don't keep secrets, but you're learning how. And it tastes bitter, like ash in your mouth. You sit by the fire again, Xeo beside you, her silence a wall between you. The elders are talking now, their voices low, their words weaving a story of a hunt long ago, when the rains were kind and the herds were plenty. You try to listen, to let the story pull you in, to be the memory keeper you're supposed to be. But your mind is elsewhere, on the bone man's skull-tipped staff, on the old one's totem, on the vision of a land that's slipping away. You wonder if Kagan knows, if Nkate suspects, if the ancestors are watching, judging, waiting for you to choose. The fire dies to embers, and the clan drifts to sleep, their breaths soft against the desert's hum. Xeo curls up beside you, her head on your shoulder, but her eyes are open, staring into the dark. You want to tell her it's okay, that you'll protect her, that you'll keep the secret. But the bone man's shadow lingers, and the vision's weight presses down, and you know deep in your bones that the desert is watching, waiting for you to decide. Stay with the San, carry their stories, or follow the pull of something else, something that might break you. The stars burn overhead, sharp and cold, and you lie there, the earth hard beneath you, the night alive with whispers you can't quite hear. You're a San, a memory keeper, a storyteller. But you're also you, and the crack in your heart is growing, splitting wide, and you don't know how long you can hold it together. The dawn breaks over the Kalahari like a wound, the sky bleeding red and gold, the air sharp with the scent of dew and dust. You're awake before the others, your eyes gritty from a night spent staring at the stars, Xeo's small form curled against you, her breaths uneven, like she's chasing something in her dreams. The camp is quiet, the fire nothing but ash now, its warmth long gone. Your body aches, not just from a hard earth, but from the weight of last night, the trance dance, Kagan's question, the bone man's shadow lingering like a bad taste. You shift, careful not to wake Xeo, and your fingers brush the ground, tracing the faint outline of a footprint, not yours, not Xeo's, but smaller, stranger, like a child's but with toes too long, too pointed. Your heart stumbles, and you pull your hand back, the desert silence suddenly too loud, like it's laughing at you. You stand, your legs stiff, and scan the camp. The clan is still asleep, their hides rising and falling with soft breaths. But something feels off, like the air's been stirred by something passing through. You glance at the spot where the bone man stood last night, his skull-tipped staff glinting in the moonlight. But there's nothing there now, just sand and thorns. You tell yourself it was a dream, a trick of the firelight. But the footprint under your fingers says otherwise, and the memory of the old one's totem hums in your skull, a reminder that the desert keeps its own secrets. You move away from the camp, your bare feet silent on the earth, the dawn's chill prickling your skin. You're not sure where you're going, only that you need to move, to shake off the weight of Kagan's eyes, of Xeo's fear, of the vision that showed you a land dying and a choice you're not ready to make. The Kalahari stretches around you, its grasses brittle, its hills sharp against the sky, and you feel small, smaller than you've ever felt, like a single note in a song too big to hear. You've always been Sen, always carried the stories, but now you're not sure what that means. Not when the land is changing, not when the ancestors' whispers feel like warnings. You find yourself at a low rise, a place where the earth humps up like an old scar, dotted with stones worn smooth by time. You've been here before with the hunters tracking kudu, but today it feels different, heavier, like the ground itself is watching. You kneel, your fingers brushing a stone, and that's when you see it, a carving, faint but deliberate, etched into the rock. It's a spiral, like the one on Kagan's spirit stone, but older, its lines weathered, flecked with lichen. Below it, half buried in the sand, is something else. A bone, small and yellowed, carved with the same spiral, its surface polished by hands long gone. You pick it up, and it's warm, too warm, like it's been lying in the sun, though the dawn is barely here. You turn the bone in your fingers, and a sound comes, not from the air, but from inside you, a low hum, like the old one's totem, but softer, sadder, like a song sung by someone who's forgotten the words. You drop the bone, your breath catching, and the hum stops, but the air feels thicker now, tasting of salt and something metallic like blood. You look around, half expecting the bone man or the old one to step out from behind a thorn bush. But there's nothing, just the desert, its silence a challenge. You want to leave the bone where it lies, to walk away, to pretend you never saw it, but your hand moves, almost against your will, and you pick it up again, slipping it into the hide pouch at your waist. That's when you hear the footsteps, soft but deliberate, crunching on the sand behind you. You spin, your heart in your throat, and there's a boy, no older than 10, standing at the base of the rise. His name is not equal to Toma, a quiet kid, all knees and eyes, who trails the hunters like a shadow, learning their steps. But now he looks different, his face pale, his eyes too wide, like he's seen something he can't unsee. You shouldn't be here, he says, his voice small but sharp, like a blade hidden in grass. Not with that. He points at your pouch, where the bone rests, and you feel it warm against your hip like it's alive. You open your mouth to ask how he knows, what he means, but he's already moving, scrambling up the rise, his bare feet kicking up dust. Come, he says, not looking back, and you follow, because you don't know what else to do, because the bone in your pouch feels heavier with every step. He leads you to a crevice in the rise, a narrow split in the earth, barely wide enough for a child. The air here smells different, damp and old, like a cave that's never seen the sun, is not equal to Toma kneels, pointing at the ground. And you see them, more bones, dozens of them, scattered like seeds, each one carved with spirals, each one humming faintly when you brush your fingers over them. They're old, is not equal to Toma says, his voice barely a whisper. Older than us, older than the stories. He looks at you, and his eyes are wet, not with tears, but with something else, something you can't name. I found them last moon, when I was hiding from the hunters. They talk sometimes. They say things. He stops, his hands trembling, and you feel it too, the hum in your pouch, the weight of the bones around you, the sense that you've stumbled into something you were never meant to find. You kneel beside him, your fingers hovering over the bones, and the hum grows louder, a chorus now, not just in your head, but in the air, in the earth, in the sky. You see flashes, images, not like the trance dance vision, but sharper, crueler. A people not sand but like them, dancing under a green sky, their voices bright. A fire, bigger than any you've seen, swallowing the land. A child, holding a bone, crying as the stars fall. And then nothing, just silence, just bones, just the desert, keeping their secret. You pull your hand back, your breath ragged, and is not equal to Toma grabs your arm, his fingers cold. Don't tell, he says. Not Kagan, not Kate Noxeo. They'll burn them. They'll burn us. You want to laugh, to tell him he's just a kid, that bones don't talk, that the sand don't burn their own. But the hum is still there, and the bone in your pouch is warm. And you remember the old one's words, a memory for a memory. These bones aren't just relics, they're stories, older than the sand, older than the Kalahari. and they're asking for something, just like she did. You look at is not equal to Toma, his small face tight with fear, and you realize he's carrying this alone, this secret, this curse. You could take it from him, tell the elders, let them decide. Or you could keep it, hide it, carry it with him, with the bone in your pouch, with the hum in your head. You stand, the bone heavy in your pouch, the desert watching, waiting. I won't tell, you say, and the words feel like a vow, like a cut you can't undo. Is not equal to Toma nods, his shoulders sagging, but his eyes don't leave yours, like he's searching for a lie. You want to ask him more, what the bones say, why he's so afraid, but the sun is climbing, the camp stirring, and you hear Xeo's voice calling your name, sharp with worry. You glance back at the crevice, at the bones, and you know you'll come back, because the hum is in you now, because the desert doesn't let go of its secrets. You walk back to the camp is not equal to Toma trailing behind, his steps silent, like he's already a ghost. Xeo meets you at the edge, her eyes flicking from you to is not equal to Toma, her brow furrowed. Where were you? She asks, her voice low, like she's afraid of the answer. You shrug, your hand brushing the pouch, the bone warm against your fingers. Hunting, you say, and it's not a lie, not really, but it tastes like one. She doesn't push, but her eyes linger. And you know she sees it, the crack in you, the secret you're carrying now, just like she carries the old one. The camp is awake now, the elders gathering. Kagan's voice rising as she calls for another dance, another question to the ancestors. You stand there, the bone in your pouch, the hum in your head is not equal to Toma's fear in your heart, and you wonder what it means to be San, to be a memory keeper, when the memories you carry might not be yours. The desert stretches around you, its red dawn sharp and unforgiving. And you know deep in your bones that the bones in the crevice are only the beginning, that the choice you made today, to keep them, to hide them, will carve itself into your story, whether you want it to or not. The Kalahari sun hangs low, painting the earth in shades of rust and amber, its heat pressing against your shoulders like a hand that won't let go. You're walking with the hunters today, your stick, still a pitiful spear, grip tight, the bone in your pouch a secret weight against your hip. The clan's hunger is a living thing now, clawing at everyone. The children's laughter gone silent, the elders' stories shorter, sharper, like they're saving their breath for something worse. You're supposed to be tracking a kudu, its tracks faint but fresh, leading toward a thicket of thorns where the air smells of sap and decay. But your mind is elsewhere, snagged on the hum of the bones in the crevice, on is not equal to Toma's wide, frightened eyes, on the old one's smile that promised truths you're not sure you can carry. Xeo didn't come with you today, her absence a hole you feel with every step. She stayed at the camp, her excuse about helping the women thin as the grasses, but you saw the fear in her, the way she looked at your pouch, like she knew what you'd found. You didn't tell her about the bones, about is not equal to Toma, about the hum that's followed you since dawn, but she knows you're hiding something, just like you know she's hiding the old one's shadow. The Sen don't keep secrets not from each other, but you're learning how, and it feels like a sickness spreading under your skin. The hunters move ahead, their steps silent, their bodies lean and taut, like bows strung too tight. There's Quay, the leader, his eyes sharp as flint, his scars telling stories of hunts you'll never match. Next to him is not equal to Gao, younger, reckless, his laugh too loud for the desert's mood. They don't look at you, not directly, but you feel their judgment, the way they linger on your empty hands, your failure to bring meat. You're not a child anymore, not quite a man. And the kudu is your chance to prove you're more than a boy with a stick, more than a dreamer who sees visions he can't explain. The tracks lead you deeper into the thicket, the thorns snagging at your skin, drawing beads of blood that taste of salt and dust. The air is thicker here, heavy with the scent of something alive, something watching. Quay raises a hand, and the hunters stop, their breaths held, their eyes scanning the shadows. You crouch, your heart thudding, and that's when you see it, not the kudu, but a mark on a tree, carved deep into the bark, a spiral like the one on the bones, like the one on Slashkagan stone. It's fresh, the sap still wet, and the hum in your pouch grows louder, sharper, like a warning you can't ignore. You want to point it out, to call Quay over, but something stops you, a prickling at the back of your neck, like the desert itself is whispering to stay silent. Is not equal to Gao shifts beside you, his spear ready, his eyes flicking to the mark, and you realize he sees it too. He doesn't speak, doesn't move, but his jaw tightens. And you know he's thinking of the stories, the ones the elders don't tell by the fire, the ones about signs that lead to ruin. Quay doesn't notice his focus on the tracks, and you wonder if you should speak, if you should risk the hunter's scorn, their questions, their suspicion. Before you can decide, a rustle comes from the thicket, sharp and sudden, like a stone dropped in still water. Quay's hand shoots up again, and the hunters freeze, their bodies low, their spears poised. You grip your stick, its blackened tip trembling, and you feel it, the weight of the bone in your pouch, the hum now a pulse, matching your heartbeat. The rustle comes again, closer, and then the kudu steps into view, its antlers catching the sunlight, its eyes wide but not afraid, like it knows something you don't. It's beautiful, too beautiful, and you feel a pang, not just for the meat, but for the life you're about to take. Quay signals, and the hunters move, silent as shadows, their spears glinting. You follow, your steps clumsy, your breath loud in your ears. The kudu doesn't run, not yet, and that's what stops you. The way it stands there, watching, its ears twitching, like it's listening to the hum in your pouch. You glance at his not equal to Gao, and his eyes are on the kudu, but they flick to you, just for a moment, and you see it, fear, not of the hunt, but of something else, something tied to the spiral, to the bones, to you. The kudu bolts, and the hunters spring, their shouts breaking the silence, their spears flying. You run too, your stick useless, your legs burning, but you're not chasing the kudu, not really. You're chasing the hum, the mark, the truth you've been circling since the old one's smile. The thicket tears at you, thorns ripping your skin, but you don't stop, not even when you lose sight of the hunters, not even when the kudu vanishes into the green. You stumble into a clearing, your chest heaving, and there it is, another mark, another spiral, carved into a rock, its lines deep and black, like they've been burned into the earth. You kneel, your fingers tracing the spiral, and the hum is deafening now, a song without words, a story without end. You see flashes again like the bones in the crevice, but different, sharper, a people dancing, their bodies painted with spirals, their voices rising to a sky that's too bright, too green. A woman, not the old one, but like her, holding a bone, her eyes pale as moonlight. A fire, not swallowing the land, but birthing it, the spirals glowing, the earth singing. And then you, standing in the desert, the kudu at your side, its antlers spiraling, its eyes your own. You pull back, your hand shaking, the bone in your pouch so warm it burns. You hear footsteps, and is not equal to Gao bursts into the clearing, his spear bloody, his face tight with something that's not victory. You saw it, he says, not a question, his voice low, like he's afraid the thorns are listening. The mark, the thing. He points at your pouch, and you realize he knows, not about the bones, not exactly, but about the weight you're carrying, the secret you've kept from the clan. You nod because there's no point in lying. Not to is not equal to Gao, not here. What is it, you ask, your voice rough, like you've been shouting into the wind. He shakes his head, his eyes darting to the spiral on the rock. I don't know, he says. But I've seen it before, last season, when the rains didn't come. It was on a tree, then a stone, then he stops, his hand tightening on his spear. My brother saw it too. He followed it. He didn't come back. Your stomach twists, not just for is not equal to Gao's brother, but for you, for is not equal to Toma, for Xeo, for the clan. The spiral isn't just a mark, it's a path, a story, a choice, and you're already on it, whether you want to be or not. You want to ask more, to make is not equal to Gao explain, but Kuei's shout cuts through the clearing, sharp and urgent. The kudu is down, the hunt is over, but you know it's not for you. Is not equal to Gao grabs your arm, his grip hard. Don't tell them, he says, echoing is not equal to Toma, echoing Xeo. Not Kuei, not Kagan, not anyone. They'll think you're cursed. You pull away, the bone burning in your pouch, the spiral burning in your mind. And if I am, you ask, the words slipping out, reckless, raw. Is not equal to Gao's eyes widen, but he doesn't answer. Just turns and runs toward Kuei's voice, leaving you alone with the rock, the mark, the hum. You stand there, the desert stretching around you, its heat a weight, its silence a question. The kudu is dead, the clan will eat, but you're not sure what you're bringing back, meat or something else, something that might feed you or destroy you. You walk back to the hunters, the bone in your pouch, the spiral in your head, is not equal to Gao's warning in your heart. Kuei is kneeling by the kudu, his hands bloody, his face calm but tired, like he's carrying more than the hunt. He doesn't look at you, doesn't ask why you lagged, but you feel it, the distance between you, the crack in your place among the sand. The hunters move, dragging the kudu, their voices low, their laughter forced, and you follow. The hum softer now, but still there, a reminder that the desert is watching, that the spiral is waiting. The camp is ahead, the smoke rising, Xeo's face a shadow in the distance. You know she'll ask, know she'll see the bone, the mark, the truth you're carrying. You know is not equal to Toma, is watching. No Kagan is waiting. Know the ancestors are listening. And you know deep in your bones that the spiral is yours now, yours and is not equal to Gao's and is not equal to Toma's. A story older than the sand, a choice sharper than any spear. The Kalahari sun burns, the earth hums, and you walk, carrying the weight of a secret that might save you or break you, wondering if you're still a memory keeper or something else, something the desert has claimed for its own. The kudu's blood still clings to your hands, sticky and warm, its iron tang mixing with the dust as you trudge back to the camp. The hunters are ahead, their shoulders bowed under the weight of the carcass, Kuei's voice barking orders. Is not equal to Gao's silence, louder than the rest. The sun is a fist now, pounding the Kalahari into submission, and the air tastes of sweat and something sharper, like the desert's own breath, sour with secrets. The bone in your pouch burns against your hip, its hum a faint pulse, a reminder of the spiral carved into the rock, of is not equal to Gao's warning, of is not equal to Toma's fear. You try to focus on the camp ahead, on the promise of meat, on Xeo's face waiting for you. But your mind is a tangle, caught on the question you've carried since the old one smile. What if you're not meant to stay? The camp comes into view, a scatter of hides and thorns, the fire already blazing, its smoke curling like a snake into the sky. The children run out first, their voices high and brittle, their eyes wide at the sight of the kudu. The women follow, their claps a rhythm of relief. But you see the strain in their faces, the way their hands tremble as they prepare the knives. Hunger has carved them hollow. And even this kill, this moment, feels fragile, like a song that could break. Xeo is there, standing at the edge, her arms crossed, her eyes finding yours before you can look away. She knows you're carrying something, not just the hunt, but something heavier, something that doesn't belong to the sand. You drop your stick, your useless spear, by the fire and help the hunters hoist the kudu onto a makeshift rack. The work is brutal, the blood slicking your fingers, the flies already buzzing, greedy for their share. Quay works beside you, his knife flashing, his silence a wall, but you catch is not equal to Gao's glance, quick and sharp, like he's checking if you'll speak, if you'll spill the spiral secret. You don't. Not yet. The bone in your pouch is a coal, burning through your thoughts, and you wonder if the kudu saw it too? The spiral, the hum, the truth you're both chasing and fleeing. The clan gathers as the meat is carved, the air thick with the scent of roasting flesh. The fires crackle, a counterpoint to the women's soft songs. You sit by Xeo, your shoulder brushing hers, but she's distant, her eyes on the flames, not you. You want to tell her about the spiral, about is not equal to Toma's bones, about is not equal to Gao's brother, who followed a mark and never returned. But the words stick, heavy as the blood on your hands. The sand share everything, meat, stories, pain. But this feels different, like a wound you can't show, not even to her. An elder rises, not Kate, but another, /UI. Her hair white as ash, her voice thin but steady, like a river that's never dried. She holds a small gourd, painted with ochre, its surface scratched with lines that might be spirals, might be stars. It's a vessel, the kind used for offerings, for speaking to the spirits who guard the hunt. We thank the kudu, she says, pouring a trickle of water into the fire, the hiss sharp and sudden, like a gasp. We thank the land, the ancestors, the stars. But we must also ask, why does the hunt grow harder? Why does the earth turn away? The clan murmurs uneasy, and you feel Xeo stiffen beside you, her breath catching. You glance at /UI, at the gourd, and you wonder if she knows if the spirals on her vessel are the same as the ones in your pouch, in the crevice, in the thicket. You wonder if she's seen the old one, the bone man, the shadows that seem to follow you now, like hyenas trailing a wounded beast. /UI's eyes sweep the clan, and they linger on you, just for a moment, long enough to make your skin prickle. The ancestors are restless, she says, her voice dropping, like she's speaking to you alone. They see a heart divided, a story untold. We must listen, or the land will take more than our hunger. The clan falls silent, the fires crackle the only sound, and you feel every gaze, not just /UI's, but /Kagan's, Quay's, even the children's, pinning you to the earth. Xeo's hand brushes yours, a warning, a plea, but you don't look at her. You're thinking of the bone, of is not equal to Toma's crevice, of the spiral that marked the kudu's path. You're thinking of the old one's offer, a memory for a memory, and the vision of a land dying, a choice you can't unmake. You want to stand, to speak, to tell them everything, but is not equal to Gao's words echo. They'll think you're cursed. And maybe you are. Before you can move, a shadow steps into the firelight, not an elder, not a hunter, but a woman, young, barely older than you. Her name Xam. Her eyes bright but haunted, like she's seen too much and said too little. You know her not well, but enough to know she's different. The way she lingers at the camp's edge, her song softer, her stories stranger, like they come from a place the sand don't name. She's holding something, a bundle of hides, small and tight, and the way she clutches it makes your stomach twist, like she's hiding a wound. I saw something, Xam says, her voice cutting through the silence, sharp but trembling, like a reed in the wind. The clan turns, Slash UI's gourd still in her hand. Slash Kagan's eyes narrowing. XAM steps closer, the firelight catching her face, and you see it. Fear, not just for herself, but for all of you. Last night, she says, by the waterhole I saw a mark. A spiral, carved into the earth, glowing like it was alive. And I heard singing, not ours, not the ancestors, but something else, something old. She stops, her hands tightening on the bundle, and you feel the bone in your pouch pulse, its hum rising, like it's answering her. The clan erupts, voices overlapping, some angry, some afraid, the children clinging to their mothers. Slash UI raises a hand, her face unreadable, but Slash Kagan steps forward, her presence a blade, cutting through the noise. Show us, she says, not a request, but a command. And XAM hesitates, her eyes flicking to you, just for a moment, like she knows you're part of this, like she's seen the bone, the spiral, the crack in your heart. XAM unwraps the bundle, slow, deliberate, and the clan gasps. It's a horn, not kudu, but something smaller, sharper, its surface carved with spirals, its tip blackened, like it's been kissed by fire. I found it by the mark, XAM says, her voice barely above a whisper. It was warm, like it was waiting. She holds it out, and the firelight catches the spirals, making them dance, making the hum in your pouch roar. A chorus now, a story you can't unhear. You want to stand to tell them about the bones, about his not equal to Toma, about his not equal to Gao's brother, but Xeo's hand is on yours, her nails digging in, her eyes pleading. Don't. Slash Kagan takes the horn, her finger steady, but you see the flicker in her eyes, the same fear you saw in Is Not Equal to Gao, in Is Not Equal to Toma, in XM. This is not ours, she says, her voice low, like she's afraid the desert will hear. This is older, deeper, from a time before the sand, before the stories. She turns to Slash UI, to Quay, to the clan, and you feel it, the weight of her words, the weight of a horn, the weight of a spiral. We must decide, she says. Do we keep it, learn its story, or do we burn it, send it back to the earth? The clan is silent, the fire spitting, the desert watching. You feel the bone in your pouch, the hum in your head, the spiral in your heart. And you know this is your moment, your choice, to speak, to show them the bone, to share the secret, or to stay silent, to let XAM carry this alone, to let the spiral lead where it will. Xeo's grip tightens, is not equal to Gao's, eyes find yours, is not equal to Toma's, shadow lingers at the camp's edge. And you realize they're all waiting, not just the clan, but the bones, the horn, the desert itself. You open your mouth, the words forming, but they're heavy, sharp, like thorns you can't spit out. To speak is to risk everything, your place among the sand, your bond with Xeo, your life as a memory keeper. To stay silent is to betray XAM, to let the spiral's story grow, to carry a secret that might break you. The fire burns, the horn glows, the bone hums, and you stand there, caught between the clan and the unknown, between the boy you are and the man you might become. The Kalahari stretches around you, its dusk sharp and unforgiving, and you know deep in your bones that whatever you choose will carve itself into the story of the sand, a mark as deep as the spiral, a truth as old as the desert. The fire's glow casts XAM's face in sharp relief, her eyes wide, her hands trembling as she stands before the clan, the carved horn in Slash Kagan's grip seeming to pulse with a life of its own. The air is thick, heavy with the scent of roasted kudu and the sour edge of fear, the desert silence pressing against the camp like a predator waiting to pounce. Your heart hammers, the bone in your pouch a burning weight. Its hum a low thrum that matches the spiral song, the one XAM heard by the waterhole, The one you felt in is not equal to Toma's crevice, the one that followed you through the thicket. Xeo's nails dig into your palm, her breath shallow, her eyes pleading for you to stay silent. But the words are there, clawing at your throat, begging to be free. The clan watches, /Ui's gourd still in her hand, Kuei's face hard as stone, is not equal to Gao's gaze flicking to you. A warning wrapped in fear. /Kagan's question hangs, sharp as a thorn. Keep the horn or burn it. You feel the weight of it, not just the horn but the spiral, the bones, the old one's shadow, all of it piling onto you. Heavier than the kudu's carcass. Heavier than the hunger that's carved the clan hollow. You're a san, a memory keeper, meant to carry the stories, to weave them into the song of the people. But this story, this spiral, this hum, feels like it belongs to something else, something older, something that doesn't care about the san or their fires. XAM's eyes find yours, and you see it, the same crack you feel in your heart, the same question. What if this is bigger than us? What if we're not meant to hold it? Kagan turns a horn in her hands, her fingers tracing the spirals, and you swear you hear it, a faint hum, like the bone in your pouch, like the mark in the thicket, like the old one's totem. This is a choice, she says, her voice steady but low, like she's speaking to the desert itself. To keep it is to invite its story, its truth, its shadow. To burn it is to refuse, to stay as we are, to trust the ancestors. The clan murmurs, some nodding, some shifting uneasily, their shadows dancing on the earth, like they're already running from whatever comes next. /Ui steps forward, her white hair glowing in the firelight, her gourd raised. The ancestors will guide us, she says, but her voice wavers, just enough to make you wonder if she believes it, if she's seen the spiral too, if she's heard the hum. You glance at Xeo, her face pale, her lips pressed tight, and you know what she's thinking. Don't speak, don't show them the bone, don't let them see the crack in you. But XAM is alone, her small frame trembling under the clan's gaze, and you feel it a pull, not just from the bone, but from her, from the horn, from the spiral that's weaving itself into your story. You could stay silent, let /Kagan decide, let the clan burn the horn and pretend the spiral never existed. Or you could stand, show them the bone, tell them about is not equal to Toma's crevice, about is not equal to Gao's brother, about the vision that showed you a land dying and a choice you can't escape. Before you can move, is not equal to Toma slips through the crowd, his small body weaving between the adults, his eyes wide, but not with fear, with something else, something fierce, like he's made a choice of his own. He stops beside XAM, his voice clear, cutting through the murmurs. I know the spiral, he says, and the clan gasps, /Kagan's hand tightening on the horn, /Ui's gourd trembling. I found it in the rocks, with bones. He glances at you, just for a moment, and you feel it, the weight of his secret, the one you promised to keep, now spilling into the firelight. Xeo's grip on your hand falters, her breath catching, and you know she's thinking of the old one, of the riverbed, of the secrets you've both buried. /Kagan kneels before is not equal to Toma, her eyes searching his, the horn still in her hand. Bones, she asks, her voice soft but sharp, like a blade hidden in sand. Is not equal to Toma nods, his small hands twisting together, his voice steady despite the clan stares. They're old, older than us. They hum, like the horn, like something alive. He doesn't look at you, but you feel the bone in your pouch pulse, its hum rising, a chorus now, a story that won't be silenced. The clan is silent, the fire spitting, the desert listening. And you know this is it, the moment where the spiral takes over, where the sand story bends or breaks. You stand, your leg shaky, the bone burning through your pouch, through your skin, through your heart. I saw them too, you say, and the words are a flood, unstoppable, reckless, like a river breaking its banks. Xeo gasps, her hand falling away, but you don't stop, can't stop. In the crevice, with is not equal to Toma. Bones, carved with spirals, humming like the horn, like the mark XAM found, like the one in the thicket. You pull the bone from your pouch, holding it up, its yellowed surface catching the firelight, its spiral glowing, alive, accusing. The clan recoils, some whispering, some crying out, their voices a tangle of fear and anger. But you keep going, because you're not just a boy anymore, not just a memory keeper. You're something else, something the spiral has claimed. Kagan rises, the horn in one hand, her eyes locked on the bone, on you. You kept this, she asks, not angry, but something worse, something that cuts deeper, disappointment, maybe, or recognition, like she's seen the crack in you all along. Quay steps forward, his face hard, his spear still bloody from a kudu. You hid this from us, he says, and it's not a question, it's a judgment, a blade aimed at your place among the sand. Is not equal to Gao, is behind him, his eyes wide, his warning forgotten. And you realize he's afraid, not just for you, but for himself, for the spiral he saw, for the brother he lost. You nod, because there's no point in lying, not now, not with the bone in your hand, the hum in your head, the spiral in your heart. I didn't know what it was, you say, and it's true, but it's also a lie, because you knew it was something that didn't belong, something that pulled at you like the old one's totem, like the vision of a land you might never see. But it's not just me, you say, your voice rising, reckless, raw. XAM saw it, is not equal to Toma saw it, is not equal to Gao saw it. It's here, in the desert, in the earth, in us. The clan erupts, voices clashing, some calling for the bone to be burned, some for you to be cast out, some for the ancestors to judge. UI raises her gourd, her voice thin but piercing, silencing the chaos. Enough, she says, and the clan stills. The fires crackle loud in the sudden quiet. This is not a curse, not yet. It is a story, one we do not know, one we must learn or refuse. She looks at you, at XAM, at is not equal to Toma, and you see it not fear, but something older, deeper, like she's carried a spiral of her own, like she's heard the hum before. Kagan steps forward, the horn still in her hand, her eyes moving between you and the bone, between XAM and the horn, between is not equal to Toma and the crevice he named. We cannot burn what we do not understand, she says, her voice steady now, an anchor in the storm. But we cannot keep what divides us. We will take the horn, the bone, the spiral, to the place of the ancestors, to the cave where the first stories were sung. We will ask, and we will listen. The clan murmurs, some nodding, some shaking their heads, but you feel it, a shift, like the desert itself is exhaling, like the spiral is pleased. Xeo grabs your arm, her voice a hiss. You shouldn't have, she says, but her eyes are wet, not with anger, but with fear, fear for you, for the clan, for the story you've all become. Is not equal to Toma, is beside XAM, now, his small hand in hers, and you see it, the bond between them, the weight they share, the weight you've added to. You look at the bone in your hand, its spiral glowing, its hum a song you can't unhear. And you know this is only the beginning, that the cave, the ancestors, the spiral will demand more than a story, more than a choice. You're a San, a memory keeper, but you're also you. And the crack in your heart is wide now, spilling secrets, spilling truths, spilling a story that might save the clan or shatter it. The fire burns, the desert watches, and you stand there, the bone in your hand, the hum in your head, wondering if you've just saved the sand or doomed them, wondering if the spiral will let you go or claim you forever. The Kalahari dawn is a blade, slicing the sky into ribbons of pink and gold. The air sharp with the scent of dew-soaked thorns and the faint, lingering musk of the kudu's blood. You walk with the clan, your feet sinking into the sand, the bone in your pouch a constant burn, its hum a thread weaving through your thoughts, tying you to the spiral, to XAM's horn, to his not equal to Toma's crevice, to the old one's shadow. The camp is behind you now, a fragile scatter of hides fading into the distance, and ahead lies the cave of the ancestors, a place of stories so old they're carved into the earth itself. Kagan leads, the horn wrapped in hide, her step sure but heavy, like she's carrying more than the clan's hopes. Beside her is Ui, her gourd clutched tight, her white hair a beacon in the half-light. Quay follows, his spear at the ready, his eyes scanning the horizon, and is not equal to Gao, is there too, his silence a mirror of your own, his brother's absence a ghost between you. Xeo walks beside you, her shoulder brushing yours, but her eyes are on the ground, tracing the tracks of the clan, avoiding yours. She hasn't spoken since last night, since you held up the bone, since you spilled the secret that's changed everything. You want to reach for her, to tell her you're sorry, that you didn't mean to pull her into this, but the bone's hum is louder than your guilt, and the spiral's pull is stronger than her silence. XAM is ahead, is not equal to Toma at her side, their small forms dwarfed by the desert, but they move with purpose, like they've been claimed by the same story, the same truth. You wonder if they feel it too, the weight of the spiral, the hum that's no longer just in the bone, but in the air, in the earth, in the blood pounding through your veins. The cave is a day's walk, maybe more, through a stretch of the Kalahari, where the grass is thin, and the hills rise, jagged and black, like the bones of some ancient beast. You've heard of it in the elder songs, a place where the first sense spoke to the stars, where the ancestors left their marks, not spirals but hands, footprints, animals that dance across the rock. It's sacred, a place of answers, but the thought of it scares you, not because of the cave, but because of what you're bringing. The bone, the horn, the spiral, the secrets you've carried since the old one's smile. You wonder if the ancestors will welcome you, or if they'll see the crack in your heart, the doubt that's grown since you saw the land dying, since you felt the pull of something beyond the desert. The sun climbs, its heat await, and the clan moves in silence. The only sounds the crunch of sand, the rustle of hides, the occasional cough from a child too weak to run. Hunger still clings to you all. The kudus meet a brief reprieve, not a cure. You glance at Quay, his face lined with more than years, and you wonder if he blames you, if he thinks the spiral is your fault, if he sees you as less sand because you hid the bone. Is not equal to Gao catches your eye, his expression unreadable, but you feel it, the bond between you, forged in the thicket, in the mark, in the brother he lost. He doesn't speak, but his silence says enough. You're in this together, whether you want to be or not. The hills grow closer, their shadows stretching long and thin, like fingers reaching for the clan. You pass a waterhole, its surface cracked and dry, its edges marked with the tracks of beasts that came and left empty. Ui pauses, her gourd raised, and she pours a trickle of water onto the ground, a gift to the spirits, a plea for rain. The clan watches, their faces tight, and you feel it, the desperation, the fear that the land is turning away, that the ancestors are silent. You touch the bone in your pouch, its hum steady, and you wonder if it's a gift or a curse, if it's speaking to the land or against it. As you move on, XAM slows, falling back to walk beside you, is not equal to Toma, still at her side. Her eyes are bright, too bright, like she's burning from the inside. And she clutches the hide that once held the horn, her fingers twisting the leather. "You felt it," she says, not a question, her voice low, like she's afraid the hills will hear. The hum, the spiral, the story. You nod, because there's no point in lying, not to her, not after last night. Is not equal to Toma looks up, his small face serious, and you see it, the same weight you carry, the same secret that's marked you all. "It's not just bones," he says, his voice barely a whisper. "It's people like us, but gone. They left the spirals, the hum, to tell us something." You want to ask what to make him explain, but the hum in your pouch is louder now, a song without words, a story without end. You see flashes like in the crevice, like in the thicket, of people dancing, their bodies painted with spirals, their voices rising to a sky that's too green, too alive. A woman, not the old one, but like her, holding a horn, her eyes glowing, her smile sharp. A fire, not destroying, but creating. The spirals burning, the earth singing. And then you, standing in the cave, the bone in your hand, the clan behind you, the ancestors watching. You blink, the vision fading, but the hum remains, and XAM's eyes are on you, like she saw it too, like she knows you're part of this, whether you want to be or not. Kagan calls a halt, her voice sharp, and the clan stops, their breaths heavy, their eyes on the hills. You're close now, the cave's mouth a dark slash in the rock, its edges jagged, like teeth waiting to swallow you. The air is different here, cooler, heavier, tasting of stone and something older, like the breath of the earth itself. UI steps forward, her gourd raised, and she begins to sing a soft, keening song, a call to the ancestors, to the spirits, to the stories carved in the cave. The clan joins, their voices rising, and you feel it, a pull, not just from the bone, but from the cave, from the spirals, from the hum that's become your shadow. You move closer, the clan behind you, and the cave's mouth looms, its darkness alive, like it's watching, waiting. Kagan unwraps the horn, its spirals catching the fading light, and she holds it out, not to UI, but to you, her eyes steady, like she's known all along that this is yours, that the spiral chose you. You spoke, she says, her voice low, not accusing, but sure, like she's naming a truth you can't deny. You carry it. You bring it. The clan is silent, Xeo's breath catching, is not equal to Gao's eyes wide, XAM's hand on is not equal to Toma's shoulder, and you realize they're all waiting, not just for Kagan, but for you, for the bone, for the spiral. You take the horn, its weight heavier than it should be. It's joining the bones, a chorus now, a story that's not just old but alive, demanding to be told. You step toward the cave, the clan following, their song rising, and the darkness swallows you, the air cold and damp, the walls rough under your fingers. The cave is vast, its ceiling lost in shadow, its floor littered with stones that might be bones, might be stories. You see them, the ancestors' marks, hands, footprints, antelope leaping across the rock, their lines sharp and sure, like they were carved yesterday. But there's something else, something you didn't expect, a spiral carved deep, its lines glowing faintly, like it's been waiting for you, for the bone, for the horn. The clan stops, their song faltering, and UI's voice rises, sharp and urgent. This is not ours, she says, her gourd trembling. This is older, deeper, from before the sand, before the stars. Kagan steps beside you, her hand on the horn, and you feel it, the hum, the spiral, the story, pulling you, not to the ancestors, but to something else, something that doesn't belong to the sand, something that might destroy them. You want to drop the horn, to throw the bone, to run from the cave, but your feet are rooted, your hand steady, and the spiral is singing, its voice yours, its story yours. You turn to the clan, the bone in one hand, the horn in the other, and you see them. Xeo is not equal to Gao, Xam is not equal to Toma, /Ui, /Kagan, Quay, the children, the elders. Their faces lit by the spiral's glow, their eyes full of fear, hope, doubt, love. You see the crack in your heart, the doubt that's grown since the old one, since the vision, since the spiral claimed you. And you see the choice, not just to keep or burn, but to stay or go, to be San or something else, to carry the story or let it carry you. The cave watches, the spiral hums, the desert waits, and you stand there, the bone and horn in your hands, the clan at your back, the ancestors overhead, wondering if you're still a memory keeper or something more, something the spiral has made, something the Kalahari will never forget. The cave's darkness clings to you, cold and damp, its air thick with the scent of ancient stone and something sharper, like the breath of a beast long buried. The spiral on the wall pulses, its faint glow casting shadows that twist across the ancestors' marks. Hands, antelope, footprints frozen in time. You stand at the heart of the cave, the bone in one hand, the horn in the other. There hum a storm in your skull, a song that's not yours, but has claimed you. The clan is behind you, their breaths uneven, their eyes reflecting the spiral's light, a mix of awe and dread. /Kagan's hand rests on your shoulder, not heavy, but sure, like she's anchoring you to the earth, to the sand, to the story you're supposed to carry. Xeo is close, her face pale, her silence a blade, and you feel is not equal to Toma and Xam nearby, their small forms trembling, bound to you by the spiral, by the secret you've all spilled. The cave is alive, not just with the hum, but with a presence, older than the sand, older than the desert, watching, waiting for you to choose. You've carried the bone, the horn, the spiral, through hunger and heat, through visions and warnings, through the old one's smile and the bone man's shadow. You felt the crack in your heart, the doubt that's grown since you saw the land dying, since you wondered if the sand could survive, if you could stay. And now here, in the cave where the first stories were sung, you understand why surviving here is impossible, not because of the thinning herds or the drying rivers, but because the desert itself is a story, one that demands more than you can give, one that writes itself in spirals and bones, in choices that break you. The hum grows louder, a chorus now not just from the bone and horn, but from the cave, from the spiral, from the earth beneath your feet. You see flashes, sharper than before, not visions but truths, carved into your bones like the marks on the wall. A people, not sand but kin to them, dancing under a sky that burned green, their hands painting spirals, their voices weaving a song to hold the land together. A woman, her eyes like the old ones, holding a horn, a bone, a promise to keep the story alive. A fire, not creating or destroying, but changing. The spirals fading, the people scattering, their stories sinking into the earth, waiting for someone to find it, to carry it, to pay its price. And you, standing here, the bone and horn in your hands, the clan at your back, the spirals hum in your heart, realizing you're not just a memory keeper, but a sacrifice, a vessel for a story that's too big, too old, too hungry. You turn to the clan, their faces lit by the spiral's glow, and you see it, their hunger, their fear, their love for the sand, for the stories for you. Xeo's eyes are wet, not with tears, but with something deeper, a plea for you to stay, to be her brother, to be San. Is not equal to Gao stands rigid, his brother's absence a shadow, his warning forgotten, but his fear alive. Xam and is not equal to Toma cling to each other, their small hands tight, their eyes bright with the same truth you feel. the same story you've all become. /UI's gourd is still, her white hair a halo, her silence a judgment. /Kagan's hand tightens on your shoulder, and you know she sees it too, the spiral's demand, the choice you can't escape. The cave trembles a low rumble, like the earth is waking, and the spiral's glow brightens, its lines spiraling inward, pulling you, not just your body but your heart, your doubt, your dreams. You understand now why the old one smiled, why the bone man watched, why the bones hummed, why the horn sang. The spiral isn't just a mark, a story, a secret. It's a debt, one the sand can't pay, one the desert demands. To keep it is to let it consume you, to let it rewrite the sand, to let it take everything. Your memories, your songs, your place among the stars. To burn it is to refuse, to stay sand, to die with the land, to let the stories fade with the rivers. You step forward, the bone and horn heavy, their hum a scream now, a demand for you to choose. The clan's song rises, soft at first, a plea to the ancestors, but it's drowned by the spiral's by the truth you can't unsee. You see the land dying, not in a vision, but in your bones. The waterhole's gone, the herds vanished, the children silent, the sand shrinking to whispers. You see yourself, not leaving for greener lands, but staying, carrying the spiral, letting it carve you into something else, something not sand, something the desert needs. And you see the clan, their faces fading, their stories unraveling, their love for you a chain you can't break. You kneel before the spiral, the bone and horn in your hands, and you feel it, the final choice, not just to keep or burn, but to give or take, to be sand or be the spiral, to live as a memory or die as a story. You look at Xeo, and is not equal to Gao, at XAM and is not equal to Toma, at /UI and /Kagan. And you know what you have to do, not for you, but for them, for the sand, for the stories they'll carry when you're gone. You stand, the bone and horn raised, and you speak, your voice steady, raw, a blade cutting through the hum. I am sand, you say, and the cave listens, the spiral listens, the desert listens. I am a memory keeper, a storyteller, a brother, a hunter. But I am also me, and I choose to end this. You turn to the spiral, its glow blinding now, and you press the bone against it, the horn against it, their hum a wail, a protest, a plea. The cave shakes, the earth groans, and you feel it a tug in your chest, not just a memory, but a piece of you, the crack in your heart, the doubt, the dream of greener lands, being pulled into the spiral, into the story, into the debt. The clan cries out, Xeo's voice sharp, is not equal to Tukioma's small hand reaching, but /Kagan hold them back, her eyes wet but sure, like she knew this was coming, like she chose you for this. The spiral drinks, not just the bone, not just the horn, but you, your doubt, your fear, your wish to leave, and you feel it, the story closing, the debt paid, the sand freed. The glow fades, the hum stops, the cave stills, and you're empty, not just of the bone and horn, but of something deeper, something you'll never name. You turn to the clan, their faces blurred by tears you didn't know you shed, and you smile, not the old one's smile, but yours, small and tired. A boy who's done what he could. The spiral is gone, you say, your voice soft, like a song's last note. The story is ours again. Keep it. Xeo runs to you, her arms around you, her sobs warm against your chest, and you hold her, is not equal to Gao's hand on your shoulder, XAM, and is not equal to Toma's eyes bright with grief and gratitude. /UI's gourd raised, /Kagan's nod a farewell. You understand now why surviving here is impossible. Not because the land is dying, but because the desert demands too much, because the stories are too heavy, because the sand are memory keepers, not gods. You've given the spiral what it wanted, not just a memory, but a piece of you. And the clan will live, will sing, will hunt, will carry the stories forward. But you're different now, lighter, hollower. A boy who's paid the desert's price. You walk out a cave, the clan behind you, the Kalahari dawn sharp and new, its colors too bright, its air too clean. The hills stretch around you, the grasses whisper, the stars fade. And you know you're still San, still a brother, still a hunter. But you're also something else, something the spiral left behind, something the desert will never forget. You look at Xeo, at the clan, at the land, and you smile because you've saved them, because you've chosen them, because you've let the spiral go. Hey, you're still there, curled up in your blanket, right? The Kalahari's quiet now, but it's watching, always watching. Sleep tight, if you can, and if you hear a hum in the dark, don't answer it. It's not your story to carry.